Ah! Sergeant, what are you doing here?
Oh, it appears that I rather underestimated this commander chap. It wasn't the aliens who ordered the bugs to attack the humans. It was me. My first encounter with the bugs was 15 years ago, before the beginning of the war. I was a miner out on the asteroid belt. I was in a team sent out to investigate an asteroid before mining, make sure it was safe. I lost communications with the rest of my group and wandered in the tunnels for 3 days. Then I found it. A whole hive of giant, man-sized, intelligent bugs. You can imagine my surprise. Not only that, but they could talk. I knew I couldn't tell anyone about my discoveries from the moment I found them. Who would believe me? So, when I eventually found my way out, I made up some story about a dangerous chemical that mustn't be tampered with. That got them to abandon the asteroid. Then, just after the start of the war, I learned that the asteroid was going to be blown up. Immediately I knew what I had to do. Remember that 6-week skiing holiday a year ago? Well, that was a lie. I actually travelled to the asteroid to warn them. When I got there, I found the asteroid deserted. They had all left. Sensible that, since it was 10 minutes away from being destroyed. I was blasted into space from the force of the explosion, rapidly losing oxygen. Remember those skiing injuries? Well, the burn marks and the missing arm were actually from the explosion. Good job the scientists could grow me a new one. But then, as I drifted through space, they found me. The bugs had just moved a few asteroids along. Of course, they knew about the explosion long before me. Well, they would, wouldn't they, if people were placing plastic explosive all over your tunnels? Anyway, I was rescued again by them. I stayed there for a few months. I told them about the war, and then I had an idea. You remember how hard it was to convince people that we were doing the right thing at the start of the war? Well, I figured that if the bugs attacked us, I could blame it all on the aliens, say that it was their secret weapon. That would convince people that we were in the right. So the plan was made, except they took a bit longer than expected. By the time they arrived, everyone was against the aliens anyway. And then they attacked the aliens too. When the alliance was formed, I saw my chance to take over Mud as well. I guess that plan didn't turn out too good either.
So it was you that made the bugs attack us?
Yes, but I didn't make them attack the aliens, I swear.
How reassuring.
But why did they attack the aliens? I think I can explain.
Here we go again. This wibbly-wobbly stuff gives me the shivers.
I was in the same mining team as the sergeant.
You were?
Yes. I was in charge, remember?
Oh, I never did pay much attention back then.
Anyway, when he got lost, I went off to try to fight him. I too got lost.
You weren't a very intelligent bunch, were you?
Let me tell the story. This is the most lines I get all film. About a week after the sergeant left them, I found the bugs. I too became friendly with them. There was one particular one, Jeffrey, who I still keep in touch with. By the time I'd left them, the sergeant had already been found, but I knew that he knew about them. Why else would he have made up the story about them?
You knew I knew?
I knew you knew.
I never knew you knew I knew.
I know you never knew I knew you knew. Anyway, I kept it quiet and didn't tell anyone. But then, a couple of months ago, I realized that the aliens were winning. We needed an advantage, and fast. So I contacted Jeffrey and asked him to help us destroy the aliens. He said he already had a job in the area, and so it was agreed. So the bugs attacked both sides. Then this alliance formed, and the bugs were defeated. The sergeant captured the aliens, the commander captured us, and now we're all stuck here. So, both of you contacted the bugs and asked them to attack different sides?
Yes.
I guess. Humans.
What do we do now? We have no way of escaping. These walls are like solid, man.
We could blow 'em up.
If we all work together, I'm sure we could overpower the guards.
Why don't we blow 'em up?
Why should we work with you humans after everything you've just told us? It's your only chance.
Not if we blow 'em up.
With what?
This. I always keep a spare in my shoes for a time like this.
Then why didn't you tell us earlier?
I wanted to listen to the stories.
Stand back!
Which way now?
What is the meaning of this? How dare you threaten the Empress? This is treason. There's no way out. We're surrounded. Will this help? Zargle, Gargle, how did you get here? The bugs helped us.
And we didn't even have to attempt to sell them anything.
Which way now?
This way. We've got to get to the throne room to stop the commander.
Your Majesty, so good of you to join us. And you've brought some friends too. Guards! Guards, take our friends immediately.
Your guards are gone, Commander. You're on your own now.
Well, it appears I'll have to do the job myself. One false move and she gets it.
Not so fast. You have to get through me first.
And me.
Jeffrey,
You can't take all of us.
put down the gun. After him.
Any moment now, my transport will be coming. You can't stop me without killing her.
What? I never travel unprotected.
And so our story draws to a close. After a short spell of community service, the alien commander became a specialist vet before meeting the love of his life in a shack just north of the city. The Empress retired from her job and can now be found in the mountains on the third year of her 10-day skiing holiday. The monarchy of Mud was briefly taken over by the translator before, in a huge political scandal, he eloped with a popular wheat manufacturer. On Earth, the Alien Defense Unit was disbanded, there being nothing to defend the Earth from, and its members lived out their happy final years before the Earth was destroyed by a new alien threat. Luckily, the most important 10% of the population had already been relocated to a nearby asteroid, so nobody really minded. Jeffrey rose through the ranks of Bug Command to the position of second-in-command, whereupon he went mad and, under the influence of powerful drugs, went on a homicidal killing spree, much to his own annoyance. The sergeant flew off with Sergeant Jones in search of the Hive Queen, but were both found in a bar on Mud 12 weeks later, with no recollection of what had happened. Zargle and Goggle's window company became world famous, and the pair became millionaires. However, the fortune was lost and the company bankrupted when they were sued for public nuisance a year later. Goggles became the chief ambassador of relationships between Mud and Earth and was very successful, despite inadvertently causing 3 murders, 18 riots, and several minor wars. As for Tinkerbell, she now teaches fighting classes on Mud. Dave still hopes that she will marry him, but the restraining order has complicated matters. And so that is the end of our story. Except for this.